Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It is Friday. It is time for a weekend. But before we kick off the weekend, I'm going to be going over some data that I think is very worthwhile in terms of looking at this data to really determine the potential price point for Cardano in the future. Now, I've done this multitudes of ways over the years. And it seems like no matter how I do it, we typically fall on roughly the same numbers, which is very, very interesting. But I have some other data that I'm looking at, and I'm going to show that data to you. I'm going to show you some really amazing charts. And first thing I want to touch on, this is another project of mine. Yes, I know I have ADD of projects, but the backstory to this is when I was selling my property in Puerto Rico, someone out of, the tech world of California was looking to buy my house. And it turns out that he is a pretty big wig in tech. And we just started talking and we decided to work together on some projects. And this is one of the first ones. Now, I'm going to show this to you. This is not launched yet, but I'm going to show you the website so that you know what's coming. So let's take a quick look. I think you're going to find this very interesting. And I already talked to somebody about this who's in. This is eternalized.ai. Now, basically the plan for this platform, and we're probably going to have a demo here in the next week or so, but this is basically a platform where we are going to take we're going to start off with some influencers, including myself. I'm going to be the first one. And basically, we're going to create AI models, AI chat models that are going to be available to you 24/7. And you're going to be able to chat with influencers in crypto, scientists, Einstein, politicians, basically everybody. And the way we're building this, where each model is going to be developed by scraping all of the, for me, for example, all of my YouTube videos since inception, all of the YouTube transcripts of everything I've ever said, every thought, every opinion, you name it, it's all going to be scraped into a new AI model. And then that AI model, you're going to be able to chat with it. So if you want to know, hey, Crow, what do you think about this? Or what are you thinking about that? Or so whatever, you're going to be able to do that 24/7. And then, I'm adding people. I'm going to add models, good or bad. L. Ron Hubbard. People were like, what the hell? You know what? Let's figure out how this guy thought. We're going to pull in all of his writings, not fictional, but all of his writings, his beliefs, opinions, all of that. JFK. This, you'll see that it's like an older guy that's techno. This is going to be the Cardano blockchain. So ultimately what we're going to be doing is we're going to take every peer-reviewed report, every article, every paper that's put out by the Cardano Foundation, all of the groups associated with Cardano, and you're going to be able to chat with Cardano as it's an AI model. And that AI model is going to be based on all of those works. Politicians, I want to add politicians to this platform so that basically you're going to be able to chat with a politician, and what they say and what they do is going to be based off of all of their public lectures, speeches, executive orders, policies, anything that's basically happened under their watch during their presidency. And I think that's going to be a big deal. You've got Karl Marx, Stephen Hawking. These are all models that we're going to be working on and launching. And some of your favorite YouTubers, one of which has agreed. He's on board. I talked to him yesterday. He's very, very excited about this. And I think others will as well, especially once we get this kicked on. So bookmark the site if you want. Let me know in the comments below if you think this is something that you're excited about, because I'll be very curious to know. Now, let's get on to the meat of this video. This is into the Cryptoverse. And many of you guys know I've supported Benjamin Cowan long before he blew up on YouTube. He and I were chatting, and I try to give him little tips and pointers and things on, how to go about his videos and things. And he's since just blown up. He's just a wealth of information. And this platform, there's a link in the description below. Because I have joined, I think I'm the second, he told me I'm the second person he's pitched about becoming an affiliate for his platform. Now, I don't just do that for anybody, and you guys know that, because I get bombarded with affiliate offers every day. But this platform is absolutely ridiculous. He's like, there are thousands of charts in here for every kind of data you can think of about any blockchain you could think of. Every blockchain out there, it's got charts for days. Everything you can imagine is on here. On-chain data. Everything. Okay. So if you're curious, check it out. There's a link down below. But what I was primarily interested in today is ADA's dominance. And this basically shows the ebb and flow of ADA's dominance over bull and bear cycles. And I found this extremely interesting, especially for the sake of calculating the potential price point of Cardano in the future peak. And if you see here, and I've got a little graph of all these metrics I'm going to show you. But this is where I'm pulling this data. And then there's another chart here that I find extremely interesting, which is unique wallet addresses. And if you look at the different peaks, obviously, the red line down here, this is the number of addresses, total addresses, with basically just a tiny fraction of Cardano. And you can change this to, I only want addresses with 100 ADA on them. It doesn't change that much. 10,000 ADA, you can see the red line starts to go sideways a bit, but it's still climbing significantly just since last year. So those are all the metrics, but ultimately I wanted to see the overall growth of Cardano as it relates to the number of wallet addresses on that particular blockchain. The latest value, so currently we're sitting at 4.44 million Cardano wallets. This is huge because the percentage of growth, which I'm going to show you in a minute, is astronomical. And if you look at the original peak of Cardano or ADA back in the day, we only had, there were about 120,000 wallets in the last peak. And that was when Cardano went all the way up to $1.16. Then you take a look at this next peak, and there were around 2.18 million wallet addresses. And that was when Cardano was around $3. This is saying $2.84. It was around $3.14 at the peak of that cycle. And of course, everybody knows we had two peaks to that cycle. So we had the first peak, we dipped, and what you see though is we didn't really get that much decline in the number of wallet addresses. Why is that? Well, that's because during that period, we were just launching a lot of the main systems on the protocols, such as staking and smart contracts and all of that stuff. So while all of that was going on, the number of wallets was continuing to increase, and it continued to do so even with the price dropping. You can see a significant crossover here. New Cardano wallets were being created in crazy numbers, even as the price was dropping in what we know was the bear market cycle. So across with all of this information, I also use the percentage calculator website, which is fantastic. Just Google percentage calculator. And then, of course, I use metrics from CoinMarketCap to calculate what was going on. So now we're going to take a look at my numbers here, and we're going to see exactly what this prediction may entail. I don't want this video to be too long. I want everybody to have a chance to look at it. So back in the peak, Cardano's price was $1.16, and that was just at a $755 billion market cap with 4.05% ADA dominance, which means that of that entire market capitalization, only about 4.05% was going into the ADA price action at a time when there were only 119,000 wallets. This is our baseline, where we started. Then you look at August 27th of 2021, Cardano's price was $292. Total market cap was $2.1 trillion. That's over a 27,000% increase over the previous cycle's peak market capitalization. But we only went up about 4.43% in total dominance, but it was a rise, and it ended up being actually fairly significant. And at the time, we went up about almost 16,000% in the number of wallets from the first peak to the second. And this is also a time, remember, this is also a time when we didn't have all of the functionality on Cardano we were waiting for. That didn't really happen and really come into strong fruition until after the peak. So we have all of this activity from that peak to now. And just now, present day, we've already more than doubled 122% of the number of Cardano wallets, and growing and climbing consistently week after week after week, day after day. So while Cardano's demand is continuing to rise, as are the number of use cases, applications, and projects launching on that blockchain, what I did was I took a guess and I said, okay, if the peak is in 2025, and, we got a huge increase in total market capitalization. And the last peak was 2.1 trillion. Let's just say we only double that. Let's just be conservative and say we're doubling the next market cap. And this is given the fact that, we have all of these groups now launching, and they're trying to launch these spot Bitcoin ETFs. Obviously, we know that, there's been a lot of FUD and things associated with the SEC, but I think they might be kind of laying a little lower since the XRP decision and basically what's been happening with that. It looks like they're wanting to basically go after and regulate artificial intelligence as it relates to the financial market, which is probably a smart move. And so just at $4 trillion total market capitalization, I took that and I just said, let's say we went from 4.05% dominance to 4.43. Let's just say we go straight to 5%. Just 5%. It could be significantly higher than that. It could be 7%. And I could cross-reference this with the growth of Ethereum over Bitcoin, and we could probably look at matching some of those numbers. But I didn't do that for this video. I kind of want you guys to look at it and let me know in the comments what you come up with. But I'm giving you the formula here, basically the system. So what I did was 5% of a $4 trillion market cap lands us at around a $200 billion market cap for Cardano. Now, you're also going to notice that I basically took this market cap and I divided it by 45 billion, which is the max supply, not total supply, but the max supply of Cardano, because the additional supply, even though it's not available on the market, is ultimately being paid out to stakers and nodes and things like that, right? But it's not really going to come into a factor here. But I just wanted to get a very conservative number. If we just doubled in market cap, all of these metrics, just a little growth and dominance, which I think it's actually going to be more than that. I'm guessing to be somewhere around 6 or so percent. But I equated for that as well below. But ultimately, we ended up at around $4.44 per ADA, which is still significant. But I think we're going to do better than that. And then I took into account, let's just say we did go to a 6%. That would take us to $5.33 per ADA. Okay, we're looking at 2025 in this. And this is, again, based off of a $4 trillion market cap. I didn't touch that 4 trillion alone or at all. And that could easily be 6, 7 trillion, who knows? With all of the major institutions entering the space now and these spot Bitcoin ETFs and the other ETFs coming into effect, with the inflation, with everything going on in the normal economy, as we continue migrating, I think, from this cash economy to the cashless economy, and what that means to the adoption of blockchain, this could go astronomical. This could be $10 trillion by 2025 for all we know. We really don't know. But I wanted to keep it conservative. And when we've accomplished all of these major milestones in price before the blockchain was even done, and here we are with significant wallet growth, adoption, use case, everything, I think these numbers are very, very fair and very conservative. So what I did was I took the 6% and I just divided that by the actual total supply available on the market, which is around 36 billion tokens instead of 45. And that brings us to $6.64. As I've said, I do strongly believe that ultimately our price is going to end up somewhere between $5 to $8. And anything is possible. But I think that is a very conservative, very probable price point by the peak of the next market. A lot of this is going to depend ultimately on what happens to Bitcoin, because a lot of the profitability that ends up taking place in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, we all know, spikes up first and then it declines. As it's declining, that profit is going into the altcoin market. So we're going to see a big peak in Bitcoin first. We might even see a peak in Ethereum, even against all of the grain and everything that's been going on with it. I still think that as a first adopter, as a first to market with smart contracts and all the money that's gone into it, I still think it's going to do very well. But I think at some point we're going to see Cardano flip that. I think we're going to see Cardano grow and ultimately do much better than Ethereum. But Ethereum might peak first, then it might be Cardano's turn, and then we're going to see a flipping. And then where it goes from there, I think ultimately is going to depend on how functional and useful is Hydra between now and 2025. Because right now I feel like Hydra development is a little slow, and it's not been exactly blowing my skirt back in terms of what I was expecting to see when Hydra launched. It has launched, and it's coming, and it's going to continue growing, and I think more developers are going to be lining up to build on it, and I'm sure many are. But I want to see that. Because I want to see microtransactions on the Cardano blockchain. I think right now that's one of the biggest things holding back its adoption, and honestly, its development in terms of other developers building on that blockchain. So, listen, it's Friday. I just want to send you away with some other stuff to think about. Make sure you check. I've changed all of the data in the description below. Make sure you check it out. I absolutely I want you to have a great weekend. I want you to have a safe weekend. I want to see you guys back here on Monday ready to work because I've got a lot of stuff to show you. Until next time, guys, crow your coins. And remember, I'm always right sometimes.